Hello guys and welcome once again to another track guide video, and this week we have Watkins Glen in Gr.3. And for this one I decided to go with the Supra because it feels like, once again, after the physics change, it's the fastest car in the game. I mean, most of the circuits it's kind of okay, but on this one, if you have long straights, it's pretty good, so I do recommend using it. If you don't want to use the Supra, you can use the BMW M6, which I think it's also pretty good. I mean, for the race, yeah, you have to save the tires, so eventually I think Supra can be helpful, but if you got a car that can save tires, that can be very good. But without further ado guys, let's get going. And starting with the guide right here, and I usually like to take the last corner in 4th gear, so don't try to upshift when you already put the power down. But here, I mean, I already know that it's a little bit before the 200 meter mark, but I kind of use the reference on the right, downshifting straight into 2nd and straight into 4th, so I skipped the 3rd gear. And eventually you basically want to use all of the curbs around this track. I know it can be a little bit difficult, but it's definitely worth giving it a shot. And you will see that here in the bus stop or the chicane, not really sure how to call it, you have to use the curbs if you want to get a good result. So here it's a 300, but 300 with turning and braking at the same time. So basically you can see that I'm staying in 5th, downshifting into 4th, and downshifting once again into 3rd, and quickly upshifting into 4th just to get, you know, just to get the speed out of the corner. But here, this is my mark, just to use as kind of a rotation tool. Basically, I tap the brakes. You can see that I'm tapping the brakes quite easily, maybe at about 10%, something like that. So I need to tap the curb here. I need to go onto the curb until this point, and I can only then, if you reach this point, you can put the power down, but in 4th gear. So if you do it in 3rd or pretty much in any other gear, it's not gonna work. Or if the angle is slightly different, something like here, it's not gonna work. So you always have to replicate my angle. So 200, you can see that I'm already turning in and braking at the same time. I'm kind of helping myself with a bit of trail braking, not as much, and quickly upshifting into 4th gear. So you can see that I'm skipping gears quite often. It does help with the rotation, and it really does help with the top speed, acceleration, pretty much everything. But here, after the 200 at about 150, I try to turn and brake at the same time. A little bit of trail braking. You can see I'm basically tapping the brakes, and in the middle of the corner, upshift into 3rd, and you want to start putting the power down. Most of the time it's good to keep it at about 70-80% and then just flat it out until the car straightens up, because otherwise you have a good chance of spinning out. But here, 200, we are braking about 175, I would say, something in that. I mean, I know it's difficult to find it. I did downshift into 1st in a couple of occasions, but 2nd is more than okay, and you need to quickly upshift back into 3rd just to get that acceleration and eventually get the traction from the car. But here, 100, but I'm kind of braking a little bit before the 100 at about 110, 115, and I would really like to use a lot of that rotation with the gear shifts and of course with the downshift. 2nd gear, once again we're going up in 3rd and eventually on the way out, but be very steady and careful with the power. But something like this is not going to work here. Here you have to be very fast, and it's most likely kind of an on and off switch. A little tap on the brakes and just go. So if you wait to get on the power, the car might understeer a lot, and it's understeering quite a lot. But here, before this sign, a little bit before the sign, I like to tap the brakes to about 50-60%. Don't hold it for long, otherwise the car once again will slide and you will pretty much lose all of the traction. And put the power down when the car hits the curb, and that's the crucial point. So if you miss the curb, if something is missing out, you will eventually lose that corner, and car usually tends to understeer, but if you go too hard over the curb, it might as well spin you out. So really be careful about that point. And guys, I really hope you enjoyed in this one. If you got any questions, you can ask in the comments down below, and you can as well like this video. So guys, thank you very much for watching, and until the next time, bye.